Greetings, loves. Not gonna stay on here long because I have a massive migraine. But I've been doing a lot of reading, um, watching interviews, looking at that video, and there's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about. I just can't do it tonight. My head is blaring. Just all of a sudden, I'm walking out the gym. Oh no, I'm gonna get some lemon water, um, something. Try to calm this thing down, but I got a massive migraine. So while working, aka driving trucks all day, I've been hardcore on this case. I'm starting to see how y'all felt on the Kanika Jenkins situation. hmm There is so much I want to talk about. I'm gonna reiterate, y'all. Just kind of, if you feel me even a little bit, you know, do your own due diligence. Like I said before, I believe Carmelo was set up. I wholeheartedly believe that. And I believe we can figure this thing out. I believe that this situation was planned. It's given planned to me. Too many people involved, too many things played out like a movie script. I could say a lot more, but again, my head is blaring. Um, and I'm going to say again what I said yesterday in my live. Well, I didn't say it, but I uh, kind of put it out as food for thought. I don't trust Carmelo's parents. And that's not an easy thing to say. Well, at first. But I'm pretty confident in that. I don't trust the parents. I don't. You know, the- I disagree with Jeff Metcalf when he says they owe him an apology and all that, man, whatever. But they do owe us some explaining. I can understand the mom not being at the sentencing. I can understand that. She's a mommy, right? But then again, I had to rethink that. Can't stand that damn Charleston White. But I was looking at it the same way. And anytime I go back and look, I still see it the same. You the man of the family, and you having a press conference while your son has been accused of deleting someone, and you step back and watch your wife do the talking. She's the one crying, but you got her doing the talking. I don't know what that's about, but it's something. And I just can't get past them linking up with Charleston White. We need to know how much of what he has said is true. Were they intertwined with him from day 5 and to the levels that he's saying? You can't make me believe that they're that green and naive that they would link up with Charleston White throughout this and take his advisement. I think all players so far are involved in this setup. And the parents are on the suspect block for sure. Even if they weren't completely involved, to some degree, they were able to be bought, if you will. persuaded, not through these GoFundMe's y'all complaining about that they really couldn't get their hands on. No, it's something else. Not sure what. But you don't let, I just said I came out the gym. I have a migraine. So I got to try to do something to make it go away because I can't lift. I can't do anything. And I got to drive tonight. Oh, it just came about all of a sudden. It is killing me. But anywho, I don't understand linking up with Charleston White. I don't understand listening to Charleston White guide you through your son's trial. This so-called dream team, well, when the new Black Panther Party first contacted Carmelo's father, they offered their help. He was hooked up with another group. I believe that was the quote. Um, the father did say he was told not to talk to this person, not to talk to that person. Now, Dominique says he didn't tell them to get the white lawyer or advise them on the jury. He said he don't do that, and he didn't do that. Charleston White said he did though. The father also said that people, no, not the father. Dominique said that people were advising the father to not only go with the white lawyer, but to go with that particular lawyer. Who? Because in all the interviews Dominique did, he never mentioned Charleston. I kind of don't expect him to, because that was they little oops on purpose, but a bad thing, right? So who else is he not mentioning? I'm sure there are others that they wouldn't want us to know about. I don't care if this is your first rodeo. Throughout this trial, you're going to see and know, hey, we should be doing this, we should be doing that. You should object to this, you should object to that, blah, blah, blah. That I wish I would have spoke up, and I wish I would have been rebellious. I was told to trust them, go with them, stay with them. Why would you keep listening to anybody else over what you as a grown person and a parent can see and hear and feel that you need to speak up on behalf of your child? Because if y'all had a good close to what 17 witnesses lined up and the defense brought forth none, amongst other things, you don't say nothing, Dan. There's so many points where he should have said something and he didn't say. What happened that day? I think the parents should step aside. Once you do something like that at this big old age, baby, you are now a man. 17 when he went in. Hey, you got a good year some change on you now. You're legal now. I think Carmelo should be making his own decisions. The parents had their chance and they screwed it up in ways that you just can't overlook. And I don't trust them. I don't trust them. Why trust them again? And he's not a baby anymore. He's an adult now. I think he'd do a better job. And whatever he do or don't do, then it's his life. But again, the parents had their chance, and You can't explain how all that went. Mm-mm. You can't. It's not that much green in the world. Okay, it's not. I'm looking at this shrub here. It's green as hell, and it got brown in it. It's not that much green in the world. Mm-mm. Dawson said they never answered him on why he would have a knife, but the dad said it wasn't a knife; it was a tool. But they showed us a knife. Who put something in the trash can? Why was somebody running and changing their clothes? Why was there still apparently a scuffle after Carmelo got up and got the juking? Questions, questions, questions. A lot of questions. A lot of questions. Hunter and his mom gave interviews the day it happened. Then they gave another interview. Hunter clearly said twice in two separate interviews that he was the first one who ran up. Well, he didn't say ran up, did he? It just appeared that someone may have ran up. But he said he was the first one to confront Carmelo. Um, what you doing here? Something like that. If the coach dogged them out the way he did and told them, he was so disappointed in all their behaviors and they could not come, what made him change his mind? What made him later on text the boys and tell them they could come? Mm. You can't be that disappointed and be the authority figure in showing them that it has to stop and then just turn around. They wasn't even participating, so how could it have been that important that they be there? They had some other things to participate in, clearly. Was Austin the intended target? Who did it? How did that happen? Because clearly this was orchestrated. Clearly this was supposed to happen. Clearly, allegedly, seemingly, maybe Eddie is the one who notified them that Carmelo was up there. Didn't it look like they went straight to him? It did. It did. Of course, they want to make sure they send Carmelo away. So, they try to keep us out of everything. Wait until Juneteenth to release bullshit and, try to keep people out. And the way they only let certain people in the courtroom, didn't want it to be televised or anything. They wanted us to be very delayed in finding out and seeing things because it's clear to see. And, once the verdict is given, if you read the section codes um, on deadly force and not appeals, but self-defense, which I'll be glad to go over when my headache is gone, you'll see all of the wordings that these things be using in their videos and in the comment section. All the quotes. He was the provoker. He had a knife at school, blah, 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 blah. They use talking points that specifically and legally would negate your right to stand your ground, use deadly force, not have to retreat. You wasn't supposed to be there. Shit like that. Don't mean what they saying is legit, but these what you call them, Meek? She called them buzzwords, code words, something like that. Yeah, exactly that. Hmm. It's a lot. It's a lot. When you look at the appeals process, I don't know why these people doing all these videos talking about yeah, 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 but that's what they're supposed to do. But there is clearly grounds for appeal. Clearly. And if Carmelo did it, it absolutely is self-defense. I don't know what y'all talking about manslaughter and shit like that. Only punks would say shit like that. But did Carmelo do it? The officer said, I see blood on your fingers. You got some blood on your fingers. I didn't see it. Just because he said it, that don't make it so. Just like y'all saying, oh, the black jurors came to jury duty and said they would not find a black person guilty. Okay, just because people say that, that don't mean that's what happened. Okay, everything needs to be accessible. All transcripts, including why the jurors were dismissed, the autopsy, and who did the autopsy. They need to be investigated too, because they all usually work together. So if they say this is what he used, then of course they would write up a wound that would match it, right? Some people are doing some pretty good jobs of enhancing that video. We're seeing a lot. Y'all are working overtime, running the narrative that, oh, now the video is out, it's showing exactly what it has been said. And that is not true. And you can't make us believe that because we know what we see. And we see not what y'all said happened. And I think that whomever this team is should be dealing with Carmelo. The parents are not needed. I mean, they weren't even at the sentencing. Why is that? But we don't got nothing for them. This is about Carmelo. He's an adult. It's not that they dropped the ball, it's the way they dropped the ball. Nah. There's no video you can do to explain all of it. And especially Charleston White. Charleston White was never on Carmelo and his family's side. He was always with the Metcalfs from the beginning when he and Aiden bitch ass Ross, who we should do away with anybody who deals with him. I said that when he went off on Dolce, but y'all don't care because it was Dolce, I guess. Same way y'all deal with Neon. They scrubs anyway. Who cares? Everybody was planted on purpose. Everybody played their role, including the parents. Including the parents. Nobody can take back anything that Carmelo went through. And I'm pretty sure his best moment in all of this was when uh, Dominique Alexander went and got him his suit and walked him out of there. And say what y'all want to say about him. You know, he's very much suspect as well, but you can't take, the way he had Carmelo's back away from him. Others would have been there, but they were turned away. Dominique, you never said that in your interviews. You talked about the family speaking with some, at least seven. And, you know, based on what you're saying, they seem to be afraid to be in Collin County or they wanted way too much money. Well, anybody's going to want to guap to do this case because of the case. Not just because it's a murder case, but because of everything involved. And 75 sounded good. Okay, they couldn't access the money, so they would have to pay. So I can kind of understand that. Mm, how did y'all link up with the attorney you chose? And then his sidekick. The family did not okay him or request him. The head lawyer brought him in. And of course, we know who that guy is. Every player on this board is exactly that. And they got some thick shit with them. And y'all can spin narratives and say Jeff Metcalf is or isn't affiliated with such and such and such and such. But I told y'all from day one, just watch him. Let him show his ass because he gonna do that. And he did just that. And he ain't stopped since. Him and his ex immediately gave their version of what happened. And they weren't even there. And they told lies. And Hunter, again, twice, he was the first one who confronted Carmelo. What are you doing here? That's why would you ask any student that? Come on now. Who is this guy's maybe? Who is he? Where's he from? What school's he with? Like, why is he here? But I'm pretty sure they seen him before they know who he is, right? Yeah, yeah. Hunter said he confronted Carmelo first. The second time, or the first time, he said he was uh the first along with some of the other guys who confronted Carmelo first. Those videos are not going anywhere. He also said that his brother had his back and his brother snatched Carmelo's bag. So how did we get a completely different narrative of this situation? Hmm? How did we get a completely different narrative of this situation if somebody was able to tell the parents to be quiet throughout all of this and just let it happen? We never heard from Carmelo. I think that's a good thing he didn't testify because he would have testified under duress. Are we not in agreement on that? With all these roaches around him controlling everything, he would have said something that probably wouldn't have been accurate and wouldn't have been all he needed to say. But we haven't heard from Carmelo. I wonder what his version of what happened is. I told him not to touch me or whatever it was he said to the officer. He didn't say a name. He said him. When Carmelo got up and got out of there, what was going on down there? It was a lot. He had a security guard kind of lingering around. You had somebody running, taking off their clothes, people putting stuff in trash cans, taking it back out. Looked like y'all was uh doing some WWF type shit. Like, you know how every time a black person, a black young man, even the ladies, but it's mostly the men, um, get in trouble or get killed, they use their mug shots and they go down everything bad they can find about them and what they've done. And especially if they're a victim. I ain't heard nobody reporting saying that they was up in there talking about Austin and Hunter and how they get down. Is that how y'all truly treat victims? Because I don't know. Our men never got to be a victim, so we're not really um, firsthand familiar with that. But I guess that's how it goes. You let a victim be a victim, and you don't bring up anything bad about them, right? Even if it could be relative, unless it's a black boy. Hmm. There's a lot more going on with this than what they wanted us to believe. This was planned, this was orchestrated, but what was it? What was it? And why? What what happened that day was supposed to happen? I mean, Carmelo taking a fall, we know that went over smoothly. But everything else, was Austin the intended target? And who's the real culprit here? Hmm. If you hear the mom and daddy talk about him, he was about to be the moneymaker and everything through sports. And how? Where's your proof? Even the coach didn't want to see their mugs that day. The coach gave them a good ass lashing. I think he was getting tired of covering for them boys and them being a bad influence on the other boys. I'm pretty sure they've done a lot of stuff. Yep. But you know who is a bad guy? That Jeff. You can see it all over him. And he's relentless, isn't he? It's interesting how y'all justify his behaviors. But I also found it interesting how when Dominique, in his interviews, he talked about um, Jeff and the day that he came there. Of course, he didn't come to pray and all that. We knew that. But why didn't he ever talk about how Jeff was harassing the family from day one? You know, him and his people constantly, every day, going to that man's job, behaving like they do on social media to make sure he got fired, harassing him on uh, social media and other ways. I don't understand why he wouldn't have brought that up, especially when we can see a lot of it. And then here he comes to show himself. He didn't have no problem attacking the parents. It's like, that's kind of weird. You can see a grieving parent kind of saying, yeah, you should have raised your kids better because they're just upset, they're grieving. But no parent does that though. They usually just, they're mourning, they're mad, they go through the stages, but they don't get on social media and everything and just go hard on the parents. He called Kayla a drunk. He attacked Kayla more than he did Drew. Why? Because it seemed like Kayla wear the pants. I'm curious with Drew and Kayla. What is it worth? What will you gain at the end of the day? Because you purposefully let your son down in ways that just cannot be looked over. And then to not show up at the sentencing. Were you kidnapped? Did somebody lock you out? Because how does the dad not show up with your firstborn, your son, your young son, standing there having to hear the impact statements? You just let them know he's all yours. Do as you will. No parents are gonna just sit back and let all this shit happen. And while having Charleston White be their guide, I don't care if you were living under a rock. All you gotta do is look at this dude on social media and know this would not help me. This would not help us. And he can't be trusted. Oh, y'all think you can come over here with that bullshit? Hmm. Yeah, Jeff is a real pistol. He wants an apology for nobody's giving you an apology, kid, for your son attacking people, your sons and their crew. For if they wouldn't have did it, it wouldn't happen. But here we go with people thinking that they could do this. These type of people thinking they have the authority over us to do that. It's in their bloodline. Go back to the mom's interview, her first interview, the day it happened, mind you. She said her son was doing what he was supposed to do, getting that kid out of there who didn't belong there. That was a wax only tent. That's what it was. Because that's how that shit sounds. And guys, it's a canopy. It's not a tent. Let's stop it. A tent is a full enclosure. A canopy is just the top. It's just a little coverage. You got to stop letting them. If they can trick you with that, they can get so much more past you. And there's a lot to see here. This is big. All these people who just jumped on this case didn't just jump on it because because you got to get an appeal. Let's start there. Granted, and won, and then you could see what you can do from there. But this case had publicity from the beginning, man. And y'all knew that kid didn't stand a chance. And you didn't show up then. Or did they? Dominique, Kayla, Drew, did they? Dominique said he dare anybody to say, because his info is on social media, he dare anybody to say that they tried to come on and take this case. Um, to my older black people. Um, he also was saying how he was the one having they were using his office and meeting up with lawyers, for consultation, interviews to see, if they want to take the case, can't take the case. So they all came to your office. The lawyers did for free. They came to you. That's weird. So you was orchestrating meeting with lawyers, is what you're saying. And if anybody wanted to get with them, they would have contacted you, is what you're saying. So what are you saying, Todd? Hmm? Because on one hand you say you don't do that, um, but you was doing it. And with the white lawyer, he did say, dude decided to bring his sidekick on. And that was not the family's choosing, that was the lawyer's choosing. But of course, the family gonna agree with it because they're being instructed to do so, and they're listening to their handlers. So, where did this guy come from? Family and friends. Family and friends recommended that specific lawyer to the family, or was it Charleston and you? Dominique did say he kind of sort of can see and understand and maybe slightly agree with initially, yeah, get the white lawyer. Um, but then try to make it seem like he has some of the same objections that we had. What objections were those? Did you object to Charleston White being in the picture? Mm. All of y'all part of the setup from where I'm sitting. Charleston is the only one that's just bold enough to. Hmm, this is very interesting. But we own it. So there's that. And yeah, can't kill us all, or can you? I mean, y'all doing a lot. I'm seeing a lot happening. Yeah, but if we were to just go mind our business, somebody's gonna be next. And somebody's gonna be next, and somebody gonna be next, and it's gonna get worse every time. The more you show them what you will allow, you know. I told y'all the war has never stopped. It's always been on, and they just doing what they do. But COINTELPRO never stopped either, and that could be your own people. Sure can. So let me block some people before I get up out of here, so that'll make me feel better since I got a headache. What's up, D? Yeah, I'm on my break. Uh, I'm at the gym trying to detox, but you know how it go when you try to Detox. You go through it. Um, Okay, let me get your ass on up out of here. Don't come back now, you hear? Let's see. Um, okay, let me get you up out of here. I don't care about what y'all got to say. Don't come over here with that. All right. Yeah, let me get you up out of here. You got the wrong place for that. You got to do that somewhere else. Whole trial was rigged. These last people we need in power. The Bible say they the base of humanity. Hmm? Uh, where's that coming at? So I can block you. After that, must have been the same person. Mm. Y'all silly, boy. Y'all silly. You cannot stay away. You know you was not gonna like anything I said. So why, especially after hearing me, why would you come in here and try to write your shit in here? You just can't help yourself because you think somebody read that shit and care about what you got to say. Mm. Carmelo how to deal with his natural born enemies. Again, we have not heard from Carmelo. So we don't know what his version of what happened is. Y'all come in here and type some of the dumbest stuff. Uh, yeah, I got a whole playlist where I was documenting Nature Boy while we was trying to take his ass down for years. But this is longer than I wanted to be on here. I do want to try to go back in and get a few more sets in, target a few more areas. So, damn near everything closed over here. I ain't going across the street. I guess Kroger's is it. Uh, yeah, but we definitely will be talking about this some more. Oh, okay, I nuked everybody who need to be nuked. Stay off my page. If you for Austin McCaff and his family, stay off my page. I don't care what you're saying. Okay, I'ma block you and I'ma pay you no mind. That's what's gonna happen. Y'all don't scare nobody, and all y'all be writing paragraphs and you just be going to town, and child, say that drama for your mama, okay? Say that to each other. Why the hell y'all be coming under our videos trying to spew that shit? Y'all be under everybody video, writing long ass. But do you get paid per word? So what I'm trying to say. One thing y'all are good at is you know, racial profiling, propaganda, lies and bullshit, scheming and scamming. That's how you got everything, which makes you think you're someone who's above others. But you got everything from being shady, stealing, killing, lying, setting up black folk, especially black men. That's your specialty. Setting them up because you're jealous. You don't want them to be in abundance and be at their top, be healthy. You don't want them to succeed because you know that means the end of you. And they wouldn't have to touch you. But, I would love to talk a whole bunch of junk. I would love to. But my head is blaring, so I'm not exactly at the best for that. Mm. So I come back when this migraine is gone, and I'll be glad to talk junk to you. I ain't got no problem with that. Bye, bitches.